And let's bring in our State House insiders now. Antoine Seatright, our Democratic strategist, Dave Wilson, our Republican strategist, to get some comments on what's going on at the State Election Commission. Dave, what are you hearing now? Because that's the executive director and now a second person, high-level person at State Election Commission, fired in the last week or so.
There has been an ongoing investigation by SLED looking into some uses of state cars, state credit cards, purchasing gas. The former head of the board there at the Election Commission said these issues were taken care of already, but there seems to be some other issues that are going on. The Inspector General has done work on this. So something is going on behind the scenes. We don't fully know what that is yet, but we keep being told it has not had any effect on what's gone on with the actual election and election results. But we also have a lot of stuff stirring right now with the Trump Department of Justice wanting South Carolina's voter files and some private data that's in there. And that's a concern for some people.
Look, I can tell you this, as we say down in Swansea, where I'm from, something in the milk just ain't clean. The fact of the matter is most of this came to the light when Trump's Department of Justice requested very private, sensitive data from South Carolina citizens, and the Republican-controlled governorship wanted to send those things up on a snap and a wink, all for political purposes. At the end of the day, I'm 40 years old. I voted in almost every election since I've been 18 years old because my parents required it of me. And I've never seen the need to turn any election data over to anybody's Department of Justice. And I would say to my Republican friends, if Joe Biden, Barack Obama, or even President Kamala Harris would have requested South Carolina voter information by way of DOJ, we would be having a whissy fit here on this program because people would be going crazy. The data that you can buy, fine, you can purchase that, that's legal. But the sensitive information that no one sees the need for, that we do not know where it's going to go, who's going to use it, I think it's problematic. And I think it's a Republican problem over at the State Election Commission.
I think this issue has been going on since 24, Antoine. I mean, these investigations with SLED have been going on for well over a year. But to your point, I think that there is a real concern when you start taking a look at, does the Department of Justice get my driver's license number, get my social security number? But keep in mind, the government gave you your social security number. The government gave you your driver's license number. Somewhere along the way, these pieces of information come together. But the concern that exists right now for South Carolina voters is all of that data get consolidated together right now, because guess what you can do with a social security number and a driver's license? You can get a loan in somebody else's name, and that's where the problem lies.
I want to talk about a poll that just came out earlier this week in the South Carolina's governor's race on the Republican side. First District Congresswoman Nancy Mace with 19% of the support in that poll, followed by 18% for Lieutenant Governor Pamela Abbott and 16% for the State Attorney General Alan Wilson. Dave, any surprises there at these numbers? I know it's early, but any surprises?
No, it's not. It's no big surprise on this right now, JR. I think you have to recognize, as Antoine is apt to say quite often, this is a snapshot in time, and where things are. It's like the waves in the ocean. They go up, they go down. We are way too early to tell that anybody is a front runner right now. We know this. We know that Pam Abbott's got ads going out on television right now. She's spending a lot of money, and she's gotten $1 million into that first few days when she announced, and she's starting to spend that now, and she's going after Nancy Mace. And that's the place where you begin to recognize, if this is true, these numbers are coming out this way, then is Pamela Abbott's ads helping or hurting Nancy Mace?
I think there are a couple of things we cannot glean from this, but there is one thing we can glean from this. The most extreme and the most crazy gets the name ID recognition in the Republican primary. That's why you see Nancy Mace floating to the top. Yes, it's early, but we've also seen that the early can dictate the later. The fact of the matter is she has not done any real spending in this race, and we've seen 1 or 2 polls with her leading. It doesn't mean that others do not have the opportunity to make up gas, but we all know in the Republican primary, not just in South Carolina, but around the country, the farther to the right you go, the way the election usually goes. And so we'll have to see whether money becomes a factor, whether crazy and extreme becomes a factor, or if attention becomes a factor. And we all know that Nancy Mace is drunk off of the most powerful drink in Washington, and that's attention.
The dopamine hit that you get off of the social media hits that she's getting right now has got to be absolutely overwhelming, because she is doing nothing right now but putting everything out on social media and not really spending any money that she's brought in thus far. That right there says that she's taking advantage of what position that she has and is trying to capitalize on that as much as possible. I mean, look at it. It's Thursday night in South Carolina, and we're talking about her.
All right, quickly, Antoine, what about Democrats when it comes to the race for governor? Any movement there? Any candidates coming forward anytime soon?
I think we'll see some announcements come later in October. I think time is on our side. There's no hurry. We should let the Republicans duke it out in their own primary. I think we're going to see them duke it out in a very authentic and real way. And so I think we should just enjoy the moment, but also set ourselves up to take advantage of what's to come.
Antoine, Dave, as always, guys, thank you so very much for your time.